Hi all, today we're going to talk about Palantir's second quarter results and kind of overall market sell-off which we have seen on the day of Palantir's earnings, because you cannot not talk about it. This was a huge news and this was a news that affected Palantir stock a lot. Now, if you have seen our previous video, we talked about how volatile Palantir stock is a couple of days before the earnings, and oh boy, did we see some volatility. On the day of the earnings, Palantir stock went to about $20 something a share, and on the post-market, when it became apparent that the earnings are amazing, the guidance is awesome, Palantir stock went to about $28, so kind of from the bottom to the top, we had around 40% jump in one day. If you recall, I said that the earnings day and the day kind of before that and the day after will be a great opportunity for those of you who either want to sell their shares and have a target price in mind, or who want to buy some more shares and again have a target price in mind. So selling didn't really happen. We have only seen about $28, but for those of you who wanted to buy some more at pretty good price of 20 something, $21 a share, you had your opportunity. So today we're going to talk about the results, the amazing results I might say, and the kind of overall context of the market and how it will affect Palantir stock in the future. So in general, Palantir results for Q2 are amazing. Just no other words that you can say to describe that. Before the results in the previous video, we kind of talked about how consistent Palantir are and how the management knows exactly what is going to happen, and their guidance are usually pretty accurate. They have managed to actually beat their own expectations. So the revenue for Palantir for this quarter was around $678 million. They beat the expectation. The earnings was better than expected as well. The GAAP earnings were 6 cents instead of 5 that was expected, and the adjusted earnings were 9 cents instead of 8. If it doesn't seem like such a big deal, like 9 cents earnings, take a look at the graph of net income for Palantir. You will see this amazing straight line going up. The Palantir business is booming, and we're going to talk about this today. Stay put until the end of this video. We will talk about kind of overall market situation and what will happen next. And if you find this information valuable, put a like on this video, subscribe to our channel. We are talking about Palantir a lot. We are talking about other technological company, so subscribe. Cool thing about Palantir's report, we have seen a revenue growth of around 27% year over year. And what's even more impressive is we have seen 7% growth from the previous quarter, so kind of quarter over quarter, which again shows that Palantir business is not only growing, but it's actually accelerating. Take a look at the deals. So Palantir are reporting a number of deals which they have done in the quarter. So every quarter they will tell you we have closed, for example, 90 deals. Out of them, 30 were valued at $1 million or more, and I don't know, X were valued at $10 million or more. So this quarter, they have closed 27 deals worth more than $10 million. If I'm not mistaken, last quarter it was around 10, so kind of a huge jump in terms of big deals. And I think it can be attributed to two things. First of all, if you recall, we have talked that the Palantir success will come out of the commercial sector. Palantir a couple of years ago mostly sold to government, and governments are amazing. Wow, said no one ever, but no, government's deals are okay, they are long-term, they bring a lot of money, but you cannot grow a $1 trillion business on government deals alone. And Palantir goes more and more into commercial in the last quarters. This quarter was pretty much the same. Palantir gone to commercial, grew its commercial customer base by a lot, and are expected to continue growing. The second reason for this amazing growth this quarter is of course the bootcamps. We have talked about how Palantir are selling to their customers and some weird strategies they had over the years. Lately they have applied bootcamps to be kind of their selling strategy. So instead of taking the product and shoving it down customers' throat and trying to sell it, they are bringing customers and trying to apply Palantir's product to customers' environment and to show them the additional value that the Palantir's product bring. This quarter, they have shared some great success stories. Actually, some of them are pretty amazing. So they are telling about customer coming to Palantir's bootcamp, and after a couple of weeks, there was one, I think, legal firm who actually signed more than $1 million contract with Palantir after 16 days of bootcamp. So kind of the whole selling point is weeks. It's not going after the customer for years and years hoping he would sign a deal. So this will be a major driver for Palantir's success in the future. If you have seen Palantir's presentation kind of in the past, they have this thing which is called Rule of 40. It is based on some study which found that for SaaS companies there is a Rule of 40, so their revenue growth plus operating margin together combined should be more than 40. And this is a sign of healthy growing SaaS company. For Palantir, last quarter they have had a score of 57 for Rule of 40. This quarter, they have a Rule of 40 score of 64. So again, the company is not only profitable, great cash flow, growing a lot, but the growth is accelerating and their profitability is accelerating. So the company, despite its size, despite how many years it kind of operates, is growing in its profitability and in its revenues. And in addition, we have received all the great news, which Palantir shareholders are kind of accustomed to. Amazing cash flow this quarter, and overall cash of Palantir is around $4 billion now. So everyone is interested what will happen to this cash. Hopefully they will spend this cash wisely and not give Alex Karp a $1 billion bonuses, which they sometimes do, for which Palantir investors are kind of have mixed feelings. On one hand, dude is great, grows a great company. On the second hand, it's kind of like maybe enough with that. And the last thing which I wanted to mention is the guidance. So if you kind of remember our previous video, we have talked about Palantir not having any major news or major surprises in these earnings, and they had, but that we are hoping that the guidance for the rest of the year would be slightly better. This would be a catalyst for the stock to actually jump and to actually cross the $30 line. So we didn't know the market would sell off like crazy, so there is no $30 for now. By the way, I think if not the huge sell-off the day before the earnings and the day on the day of the earnings, Palantir stock would cross 30 and maybe even more. I would not be surprised if we won't have any shit show in the upcoming days that we will actually reach these $30. So the guidance for this year has been raised and has been raised pretty nicely. So the revenue guidance for the whole year now, it was I think from 268 to 271, and right now it became from 274 to 275. So it's kind of interesting. We have $100 billion or close to it business, and the management is able to give exact guide up to $80 million of what the revenue will be at the end of the year. So again, no major surprises here in terms of Palantir. Awesome company, greatly managed company. Palantir stock is insane, but we knew about it, and we will keep monitoring the stock, never selling our position for now at least, and kind of watching the overall market. But let's now talk about market a little bit, because what happens right now is kind of weird. And what happens right now is everyone basically thought that the situation is too good to be true. Let's face it, the kind of overall political situation in US and abroad is pretty bad. The overall economical situation in the world is pretty bad. We are right now on the verge of another major conflict to happen in the world. We don't know what's going to happen with US election this year, and the economical situation in US is not very good. So we have seen the jobs report. We understand that on one hand, the inflation is not really going down as Fed hoped it would be. On the other hand, the economy looks like it's slowing down because of the jobs report. So everyone thinks that Fed kind of overdid it with the high interest rate. And right now, with all of this too good to be true, because despite all of this, the markets kept going up and up and up and up, and like nothing really matters in the world. So right now we have seen first cracks. Will it be the major breakdown? We still don't know. But in terms of Palantir, we will keep holding the stock. If it goes down below 20, it would be a good opportunity to buy some more shares. I think if nothing major will happen in terms of breakdown of overall stock market, Palantir stock will get higher than 30 in the upcoming weeks. That's pretty much all for now. By the way, if you like SMCI and would like to see a video about their earnings, it would be next video. So subscribe to this channel, like this video, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.